Hi guys, Brandon here with our first ever 201, and we're gonna go ahead and revisit casting again. So I'm actually gonna teach you how to actually cast a fly rod, like actually cast it. None of this roll casting, none of this, you know, hoopla that you can kind of cheat with. This is the real deal. So I want to break that down to you. And I actually had somebody call me out on not not using any flies last time. So this time I'm gonna go ahead and show you it with an articulated circus peanut. So that way nobody can sit here and call me out on I don't know how to cast. So with that said, there's a couple things that you need to look out for when you're learning how to fly cast. And so what you want to do is you want to peel a bunch of line off. Now first and foremost, the most important part of casting is making sure you have that stop in the rod. Remember, like I talked in the last video. So what you want to do is just make sure you have that stop in the rod. And if you hold your line, you can actually feel about the time that the rod pulls that line on that stop. So once you have that stop kind of figured out, a good thing to do, hold your line in your other hand. Don't even worry about pinching it on this finger, just hold it in this hand. And when you stop, let the line flow out of your hand. You can actually feel when the rod wants to pull the line out of your hand. So let me go ahead and bring that in again so you guys can kind of see that. Stop, and you can feel when the line pulls out. When that line stops peeling out, that's when you want to go forward, because then you know your line has fully unraveled behind you and that your rod is ready to cast again. Because if you rush it, what you're going to do is you're going to end up snapping your flies off. When you're paying $2, $3, $4 a fly, it's kind of a big deal. This circus peanut right here, on average at the shops, will go for like, you know, $6, $7. So you don't want to be popping your flies off behind you. So again, let's go ahead and just go over that one more time. Remember, I'm not pinching it. I'm just letting the line flow out of my hand. And when it stops flowing, that's when you can cast again. So, just gonna do this a few more times here. Now, when you leave your hand open, you're gonna feel when you go forward that it's gonna pull a bunch of line out of your hand. See how it just whipped it right out of my hand? That is where you wanna grab your line. Because when you grab your line, it allows your rod to really get that bend in it. And that bend is that driving force that snaps your line forward. Let's go ahead and take a look at that, what that looks like while I actually grab it as I'm casting. And it doesn't need to be big. I'm over exaggerating everything so that way you can kind of see what this looks like. So again, doesn't need to be anything big. And see, I'm just stopping it with my thumb. I'm not holding on to it really hard. And so that's what's gonna help you kind of figure out where your rod wants to load in order for you to throw your line. So, kind of putting all these pieces back together. Stop. There's your stop, 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 stop. Right now I'm just holding the line. Stop, 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 stop. It's easy to practice that with about 20 or so feet of fly line. You don't want to choke yourself and cast with a whole bunch of like nothing, because see how this just, it sends your rod everywhere and you don't get a good feel for it. So go ahead, when you're standing out there, go ahead and just roll cast, like I said, 20 feet of fly line. And that really allows you to feel in your rod when all of these actions need to take place. Stop, 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 stop. It's all about 10 and 2. So, you know, if you're picturing a clock, 10, 2, 10, 2. And so I put my rod in the water, and see how you can kind of see when the rod wants to load that. So I'm letting it water load so you can see exactly when the rod wants to pull the line out. So once you get your stops going, go ahead and just let the rod take the line from you. One thing you can do too is you can just stop and let go of the line completely and see how far you can throw it, either backwards or forwards, just to get an idea of how much your rod wants to throw line just on a single forward motion. Just playing around now. So anyways, stop, 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 stop. Another thing that you want to make sure you're doing too is you want to make sure that rod tip is traveling in the straightest line possible, forwards and backwards. Because if you start getting all crazy and like moving it this way, your loop isn't going to be tight and you're going to lose a lot of that energy and you're going to have flies flying around your face. Also, safety tip, always wear glasses. I can't tell you how many people's eyeballs I've seen saved where the fly just bounced right off of their sunglasses. So definitely want to make sure you're wearing sunglasses when you're doing this. Rod's traveling in the straightest line possible. Now, once you have it traveling in the straightest line possible, it doesn't matter which way that line is going. As long as it's going in the straightest line possible, you're able to cast your line. So kind of keep that in mind. All you want to do is straight. If it helps you, one thing you can do is take a magazine or a newspaper, roll it up, and tuck it under your arm, and hold it while you're trying to cast your rod, because that will force you to keep everything nice and tight and straight. So see, look, I don't even need to lift my elbow or anything during these casts. Now, once you get that down, then we can start talking about the double haul, which will allow you to cast a lot more line, a lot further with minimal effort. So anyways, that's Brandon here with another Fly Fishing 102 video. And next week we'll actually start to look at that double haul a little bit more and kind of figure out how to digest that and go ahead and add that to your cast.